Sleepovers just aren't what they used to be. A house full of screens, basically no hiccups. You guys have no idea how good you've got it.
Get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract.
Back in my day, it was scary stories and flashlights.
We don't get scared.
Oh, really? Mom can see your search history. That's what I thought.
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC. We're kicking off our virtual media today for the Suburban Red Conference. And we are here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. Count on a reliable connection for all your devices, even when everyone's online. And we start here in the Suburban Red with Fort Osage coach Brock Bolton. Coach, you've had a pretty, I don't know if you've had an offseason, really. I mean, you play all the way to the final game. You fell short in the state championship game to a really good Francis Howell team that will probably be scurrying back up to Class 6 now that
let's hope.
Yeah, they dropped down, unfortunately for you, last year, but
yeah,
they should be going back up to Class 6. A great season for you guys last year. Graduated a lot of good players, but got some good ones come back. Then you have your off season. Then, oh, by the way, why don't you take a week during June and go coach the All-Star game, which you got to win for the Missouri side. So you've had a pretty full summer. How's it going as we start camp and as you get ready for the your inter squad, and then you'll have the first game of the season with Grain Valley again? Seems like you guys. That's all you do is play Grain Valley sometimes.
Seems like that every time we turn around. No, it's been a really good summer. Coaching that all-star team was a blast. Got to know some other kids, great players. It was real easy coaching them too, I must say. So, and got to work with some other coaches. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got that opportunity. I was thankful for that. Summer's been good for us. We've got some new kids learning positions and watching them grow, and the old kids. Old, I say old, returning players. They're not old, but they're returning, helping them figure out how we do things. So it's been a good, productive summer for us.
Offensively, I know you got the 3 offensive linemen back and fullback and tailback, and that's kind of a Fort Osage identity. You have been known to throw it around, but you always want to establish a running game. Does that give you some confidence knowing we've got a good chunk of the line back and we know we can hand the ball off to a couple guys?
That is, and yeah, especially when you're handing it off to River Peppers.
Yeah.
He's an explosive back. He's always a good one to hand it to as many times as you can. But we also got some other backs. Our fullback is back, and then we have a sophomore that played for us last year when River got hurt. So we got a lot of experience there, and that'll allow us maybe to do some other things with River as well on offense.
Defensively, is there any position group or does that side really taking a big step forward, or who's doing well for you over there?
Well, our linebacking crew, all 4 of them are back from last year, which is a good place to start. We had that really dominant defensive line, so we got a good 5-man rotation working there right now. Keep them fresh. They're not quite the same explosive players as Brock Brandstetter and those guys were, but they're solid players, and they're just going to continue to get better. DBs, we're still looking, trying to figure that out. We got some guys that are progressing and starting to step up. But, our motto's always been, we'll be ready by the end of the season. Maybe not the start, but so we'll just keep working and getting better.
You guys have been in that situation where you played deep the last few years. How does that help those younger players who maybe aren't even seeing varsity, but they're just getting those extra practices? I know when you had the smaller classes that were 64, if you went to a state championship game 3 years in a row, you basically had an extra season and a half of practice.
Well, they've gotten let's say that junior class would have gotten an extra 9 weeks of practice now with our semifinal run 2 years ago and then the state championship run last year. So they actually have pretty much a full season underneath their belt. That only helps them. It, gets them as part of that. They can see it, be a part of it, know what's expected to get there and how hard it is to get there, not just take it for granted.
Schedule-wise, it's pretty much the same schedule you had last year. You kick it off with Grain Valley. There's no mystery between the 2 teams now. It's there.
No, if you're gonna start week 1, at least we know each other. We know what to expect. There probably aren't going to be too many things that we're not ready for on either side of the ball, I imagine, for either team.
Yeah, no doubt. It was an exciting game last year. It should be a good one again this year. Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all your coverage and support of high school football.
Dion Clisso with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, the fastest internet with multi-gig speeds to the most homes. And now as we move through our virtual media days, we're here in the Suburban Red, and we're joined by North Kansas City coach Leon Douglas. And coach, pretty solid year for you guys last year. 6-5, you get a good postseason win in a crazy game with a really good St. Joe Central team. You lost some big names off of last year's team, but you bring back a pretty good group that got a lot of experience last year. What is it about this group that has you excited?
I think just our ability to come to work every day, to really work together. Again, we're a group that, we lost some big names, but I think, moving forward, they understand the work that has to be done and our ability to really gel and come together as a cohesive unit.
Offensively, is there a position group that's really taken a big step forward for you this summer?
I would say our offensive line. Led by Isaiah Woodyard and Quentin Bradley, they have definitely got us on track in regards to being physical and playing the brand of football that we want to play. They've also taken steps in regards to pass pro, as far as just really going out there competing on a day in and day out basis.
Defensively, what do you like about that side of the ball?
We have a secondary that's been pretty young, but has played a lot of football. They're led by Herbert Bass. He is a young man was third team All-State, was a turnover machine last year, forcing, I think altogether like 8 turnovers, had 6 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, forced a few fumbles and whatnot. So led by him. Gianni McBride's a young man that's, kind of been picking up some heat on the recruiting trail, but has played a lot of big-time football for us the last few years. He's a young man that's going into his junior year who we hope that will be significantly dominant on one side of the field to where we can do some different things to make guys have to play left-handed.
Well, tell me this. We talked before we started recording about how this group really seems to kind of be, working together really well. And that's a thing that you really like about it.
No doubt. I think, this summer we did some things where, a lot of times, you just welcome everybody back, right? No matter what they've done in the off season and whatnot. Well, this year we kind of did some things different where if you weren't really engaged in our program, and it's for those who weren't in a spring sport or a winter sport, if you weren't really engaged in our program in the off season, we kind of made the decision to say, you can come out in fall camp, And so June, end of May, June and July was full of guys who wanted to be there, who really bought in 100% on what we were doing. This year we used the spring contact days. Awesome. And so, you look at it, and I was sharing with them earlier this week. I said, fellas, fall camps are great, but we've been playing football and really having our mindset on football for a very long time, and really just take the focus that we don't have to feel like we have to do as much to get kids ready, because we literally have been getting ready since the end of March.
Yeah, it's funny. I hear every once in a while, oh, well, 2-a-days start. Well, 2-a-days that's a long gone type thing. And I said, really in the high school game, now with spring contact days and all the summer contact days, you're not installing an offense a lot of times or a defense right now. You're fine tuning things and making sure kids are healthy and conditioned and doing those type of things in the summer and just kind of doing your bonding and making sure everybody's pointing in the right direction at this point and getting ready to go.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things is like, as these new, processes have been put in place, you almost have to save yourself from the football coach that's in you, because when you take a season, a practice week in the season is really, you might get after it 3 days max. Most people 2, right? But then you'll start fall camp and you want to go 5 days, with your hair on fire. But, I've learned, after all these years to kind of slow it down, pace it out, and to really, really walk and really give kids an opportunity to recover, more walkthroughs, more teaching and learning time, as well as, the focus on the strength conditioning component as well.
No doubt. Well, it should be a great season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thank you.
Deion Clisso with Preps KC. We're in here in the Suburban Red Virtual Media Day in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet, now with up to 5 to 10 times faster upload speeds. And joining us now is Oak Park coach Ken Clemens. And coach, really good year last year. I know that's a lot of work you guys have put in over the years to get this program to where it's at right now. And I think a lot of people think that, oh, wow, that was kind of a good senior class that rolled through. You had good seniors, no doubt. But I don't know if people really peeled back the onion and said, wow, look how young they were last year. And you have been for the last couple of years. This is a good group you got coming back with a lot of experience.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically the same team that we were last year. And of course, you know, we did lose some good kids and good football players, but we're happy with what we have back. We think we've improved at every position, and we think we'll be a better team.
When you bring back that many starters, like 9 on each side, is the summer kind of twofold? Is it sharpening those guys who are already kind of used to playing on Friday night? And then I'm assuming now there's a big, let's build our depth so we're ready to go if somebody goes down.
That's a big key, is the depth. And that was a concern that we had after the season, because you never really know how a kid's going to grow and develop over the course of a year. But I think we answered our depth problems at pretty much every position. I think that I think we can survive the typical injuries that happen during a season and still be all right. And so that was probably the biggest thing that came out of the summer for us, was being able to build some depth.
Well, how hungry is this bunch? You guys played in some big time games last year. I mean, there was a lot of nights where, you were a Remax Big 3 game for us, or a game of the week for other play, and on Spectrum and things like that. The lights shined pretty bright on you guys as the season went on. How did they handle that, and how hungry are they right now?
Well, they're kind of a workman-like group. They just, they come to work. There's not too much talk. It's just mostly get to work, and we try to get some more enthusiasm, a little more voice out of them sometimes, but I'll take they're a pretty steady group of kids, and they work hard. That's the important part. They're very consistent with their effort.
Well, I know the Oak Park community. It's funny. I was been chatting with people. I don't know why the 2003 Blue Springs Oak Park game has come up recently. Coach Fabian, who used to coach Oak Park, and you were a part of that staff as well. And that it's quickly got 20 years ago. I don't know how that happened, but Oak Park was a power, and it's taken a little while to kind of get back to that. The community was always fantastic. Now you play at your home field. Do you feel like this is kind of you got the home stadium, you got the team, you're entering a really good run of Oak Park football where the community's bought in, the kids are bought in, and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always had a great community here at Oak Park. Of course, I'm a little biased. I graduated here and worked here for a long time. But I'm proud to be back at Oak Park, and we've got some good football players and some good kids, and there's other sports that are starting to pick up as well. I think that in those dark ages of athletics here at Oak Park, there was always still just a community that loved each other and loved the kids and the sport. And so it wasn't hard once we got a few more athletes. It wasn't hard to bring it back.
Well, and I did a basketball game at Oak Park this year with Spectrum. I did some sideline, and love that gym, love that atmosphere. People talk about you guys being young the last years. Watch out for the basketball team, because they're really young and really talented.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's all different kids. You know, we're not sharing them, but there's enough of them to go around right now.
Well, that's a great thing about Oak Park. I think that, like you said, it's always been a great community, and it always showed up no matter what the situation was. But it really shows up when things are good, and it's been great. So, well, Coach, good luck this season, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
All right, thank you.
Closa with Preps KC here in the Preps KC studio, powered by Xfinity Internet. With speed faster than a gig, you can power a house full of connected devices all at once. All right, as we continue on here with our Suburban Red Virtual Media Day, we're joined by St. Joseph Central coach Reggie Trotter. And Coach, you're heading into year 6, and that says a lot about you and about your program. When there was a string of, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 years where there was a different person as a head coach, and last year you guys had a really good year, and you were competitive in every game, got some good wins. Do you feel like you're finally kind of getting this thing where you want to go? I know you don't have a lot of guys back on offense, but a decent amount of guys back on defense. You feel like you're in a spot where you can kind of start to replace some guys and keep it going?
I think so. Our program is continually gotten better. I mean, even in our 0 for year, we competed, we battled. We didn't quite have the horses versus the teams that we were playing, but I knew good things were coming. That freshman class that was there that year turned into what was our senior class last year, and I'm really excited about the guys that we have coming back for this coming fall. So we're excited about this season and glad we're trending in the right direction.
How's your off season and summer been?
Great. It's really been good. I think we've got a lot of great pieces back. Obviously, you definitely start with the big man in the backfield. Gabe Fields is back as a junior, and I think that's going to be a great thing for us because I think he's really, really talented.
Defensively, you bring back more starters on that side. What have they been doing this summer? Is there a position group that's really taken a big step forward for you, or is really improved?
We've gotten really got some really solid play out of our secondary. The guys have really been flying around. Guys like Macario Barr and Clarence Jackson are returning starters at the safety positions. Makavion Rhodey is a really good corner for us and played a lot last year and started for us and done some really good things. But having Brock Williamson back another year after that knee surgery, having him back inside as a linebacker is a really good thing for us. I think he's a really good football player, and I'm excited to watch him play his senior year.
I know you said you guys competed even that 0 for year. You saw good things. Now you got some wins on the board. I mean, that's got kids have closed out some games. That's one of those things you just got to kind of learn how to do. How excited are you about the way this group is preparing and taking what they did out of last year into this year?
Really excited. I watch our season over a couple times during the summer, and sometimes it's a good feeling, sometimes it's not as good a feeling, but watching our guys fly around this summer and watching our practice film and watching the games that we played last year, there's a lot of really good things that we're doing right now, and I'm really excited about these guys coming into this year.
How are your numbers right now?
We're at about 117.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so roughly about 117, 120. I'm sure we might get a couple more once school starts because, they didn't know. But whatever. I'm excited. I think we had somewhere around 70 kids when I first got the job.
Yeah.
So I think we've created a culture where kids want to be a part of us, and I think it's a good thing.
Well, tell me this, and I know you've been there. How much of your staff has been able to kind of stay there? And I know that's the consistency that those kids create.
It's been really good. I've been very fortunate to have a lot of my staff stick around, especially the last couple of years. Now, this past season, we did lose a couple coaches on the offensive side, but my offensive coordinator is returning again for his 5th season, and also our offensive line coach. I think if you can have those two pieces, and no question, every position coach is important. So don't get me wrong there, but when you have a consistent voice calling your offense and a consistent voice talking to your offensive line, I think you have a really good talent to be able to produce some big things on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I know your league is strong. I mean, Fort Osage went to a state championship. Oak Park has gotten better. I think that your guys, the St. Joe Central's rise has made the league even better and made other teams. You guys are making each other better, which is fun to watch.
Yeah, everybody's got a stud sophomore back, or they were sophomores last year that'll be juniors this year. So I think everybody is returning. We'll be having new starters at the quarterback position, except maybe Oak Park. But I think everybody else will have potential new starters at the quarterback position. So it'll be interesting to see how this conference plays out this year.
Well, it should be a great season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
Thanks a lot for having us on. I appreciate you.
Deion Clisso here with Preps KC, and we're here in the Preps KC studio powered by Xfinity Internet. Count on a reliable connection for all your devices, even when everyone's online. Now we move through our virtual media days here in the Suburban Silver, and we're joined by Truman coach Robert Stowe. And Coach, I know that sometimes, you guys went 1-9 last year. Sometimes that looks people like maybe you're not making an improvement, but your numbers are getting better year in, year out. You bring back a lot of experience. You played a lot of young guys last year. How has that summer been? How are these younger guys who started last year still going to be starting again this year? How are they doing, and what excites you about this season?
I think honestly, we're just maturing. I use the phrase like you don't know what you don't know, and so around here, I think learning and understanding what a true like a championship football program does year in and year out is just super unfamiliar. So my biggest task the last couple of years is just trying to introduce our community to what a good football program looks like and how it operates, and our boys and our families are really buying into that. Our numbers are they're getting better every year. Last year we had some inflation with just a huge freshman class, which really helped out, especially for this year. But we're sitting around 85, 90 kids, 9 through 12. My first year here under Pugh, I think we finished week 10 with like 30 guys on the sideline. So we're heading in the right direction. We had our most consistent attendance this summer in the 3 years that I've been here. I think we had, I think it was about 40 guys that were here 90% of the time. So guys that are really buying in and committing. And, without that, it's hard to really gain any traction because the state of Missouri gives us those 20 contact days and allows us to practice in the summer. And it's hard to install and gain traction if guys aren't there. So we started with that, and I was super proud of their commitment this summer. In terms of record and whatnot, yeah, it's a lot to look at, and it's kind of daunting. I think they went 0-30 or whatever it was prior, and we were able to get our seniors a win last year, and I felt really proud about that. And now looking at our senior class this year is probably the most talented that we've had at Truman in a long time. We've had guys like Chris Rhodes come through here, Jordan Salima. But those were singular guys, and they had some dudes around them. But I think our senior class this year, top to bottom, is one of the most talented we've had, and we need to take advantage of it. And I think we have the schedule to do so.
Well, and you said, that large group of freshmen are now sophomores. You can probably spot some of those guys in spots and really build that depth to where maybe if they're just getting 10, 15 reps on a Friday night, that just makes them that much more ready as the season goes on.
Absolutely. The sophomores this year are going to get a lot of playing time. We have our senior classes the last couple of years have been 6, 8, 9. This year we're closer to 15. Our junior class is a little smaller, not as experienced, so our sophomores are going to be playing quite a bit. So we're going to be a mixed bag. We're going to have some veterans out there playing a lot of spots, and then we're also going to have some young kids flying around, learning as they go, and that's the fun part. I mean, our current sophomores last year's freshmen, there were a lot of growing pains, but the kids that stuck it out, I can't put into words how proud I am of how much they bought in. So the future's looking bright here for sure.
Well, you got to be excited. I know that here we are on the first week of fall practice, and jamborees is a little while away. Games are just a couple weeks away, a little more than a couple weeks away. How excited are you just for these kids who, like you talked about, those kids who put in 90%, for them to be able to go out and play against somebody else and see where they've made strides? Because a lot of times the kids in a weight room are doing work all summer long. They don't know exactly what they've done to their bodies or until they get out on the field and they could prove it.
Absolutely. I mean, we spent one day at Washburn this summer at a team camp, and we scrimmaged against Van Horn and Raytown one day, and then Winnetonka on another. They got a good look at kind of where they're at. We're going to need these next 2 weeks. Absolutely, we have a lot of work to get done, but at the same time, I think they see what they're capable of. We don't have John Chapin anymore. He was a great quarterback for us last year, had a great arm. His little brother Elias is going to be taking over. Elias is just built a little bit differently. He can still sling it, but we're going to be a little more run focused this year. And I'm hoping with the guys that we have, in terms of our offensive line and then our two backs, Freddie Shepard and Michael Larry, I think we're going to be able to make some noise, and hopefully they can really buy into what we're trying to do here. It's not always going to be flashy, but I think at the end of the day, if we can control the clock and control the narrative during the game, I think we're gonna leave there happy, or at least more satisfied than we have in years past.
Well, Coach, it should be a fantastic season. Good luck, and we appreciate you taking time with us.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it.